Hello and welcome, YouTube fam. So glad to be back today. I wanted to share something really exciting and important. This is about Ascension signs and symptoms, essentially, just the latest things that I've been experiencing for myself, things that I've been going through as we continue to move through this Ascension journey together. So I just want to hop on and share these because you may be also going through this, experiencing it, and I want you to know that you're not crazy, that this is all completely normal. So one of the main things that I noticed since we've had the eclipses and since we had this last new moon in Taurus is that something really, really shifted for me when it comes to time, when it comes to the way I perceive time and how I'm feeling it, how I'm noticing it's passing, or how I just perceive it as a whole. And what I've noticed is there's something really important. It's like a light bulb kind of went off within me when it comes to the present moment and recognizing how incredibly powerful the present moment is and how important it is for us to stay in this present moment. So I've been getting like massive downloads and huge clarity around that and how we really truly manifest from the present moment. And this is something I really didn't understand before. I didn't realize how powerful we really are when it comes to manifesting from that present moment. And the way that you manifest from your present moment is being like fully aware of yourself, of your thoughts, your feelings, your surroundings, of other people, just really picking up on things like right as they happen, rather than this like delay that I think we used to have where, something would go down and you wouldn't quite, I mean, you maybe have not even noticed that something was off about the situation until later, right? Where now things are becoming so focused, I want to say, like so central that it's like we notice things more quickly, more immediately now. At least I am. I'm noticing that. And the other thing about the present moment is I got this huge download about how the only way to actually manifest the future, because past, present, and future are simultaneously happening, the only way to manifest like a good future is if you're happy in the present moment. But there was something about happiness yesterday that I came across and I totally resonated with this message, that happiness isn't something that you can force. Happiness is not something that you can look for, actually, because the more that you look for happiness, the more that you're not being happiness, right? The more that you're seeking for that happiness outside of yourself. So there's something really connected to joy, to manifesting, to happiness, and to the present moment. And this aha moment kind of has been happening for me almost on a daily basis. It's really interesting, of just this feeling of like, wow, like I'm here and I'm here right now. And like this moment is so special. Even if nothing is happening in this moment, it's so special. It feels so valuable. It feels valid. It feels like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I don't have this pull anymore that I used to have of either wanting to go back to the past or to keep lingering in the past. I felt I was really stuck in my past for a really long time. I was like looping in this karmic cycle of pain over and over, and like these thoughts would continuously come up over and over, and I actually had a really difficult time being in the present moment. I was constantly being pulled back with my thoughts and certain feelings those thoughts would evoke from me, and it would keep me really stuck in this loop. And now I feel released from the loop. I feel like those past circumstances have no effect on me at this point anymore. Certainly not the way they used to. Certain scars I feel in life are, they're just kind of like battle wounds that you carry. They heal and you heal them over time, and it definitely takes time to heal them. But once you do, it's just kind of a scar that's there. It's like a reminder, but you don't necessarily have the emotional trigger anymore. And that's how you know you've healed. And that's how I know I have healed, is there's certain things about certain people that used to extremely irritate me, and now it doesn't. So that's how and that's how I recognize that I've grown, that I've actually outgrown that way of responding to people. And I've outgrown that attachment to pain, actually, and attachment to drama, attachment to being right, all of those things. I'm shedding those layers. I can really tell, and I can really feel that. And it's very unfortunate. I made a really good video yesterday, and I realized about 5 minutes in, or 5.5 minutes, is all my microphone captured, because it was dead for the rest of it. So, but I didn't notice that until I stopped filming. So, and I talked about that in yesterday's video, that just how the present moment is so incredibly connected to this knowing within ourselves, or within myself, I should say, like, that everything is always working out for me. Everything is wonderful, and that I don't need to go back to dramatic situations. As a matter of fact, I have absolutely no desire now to even communicate with people that are dramatic. I 100% feel like I'm just cutting those people out of my life, because I don't resonate with that energy. I don't have any desire to engage. I don't want to participate. I don't want their energy around me. So I avoid people quite a bit nowadays that feel very draining to me, or that I can just tell are, in a much lower place. And it doesn't mean I don't have compassion for them. I do, actually, and I'm really feeling for the people that I can see are struggling with this ascension journey. But at the same time, I also know, and I have learned, and actually that's another part of my recent growth, was really understanding and learning to allow people to be who they are. So don't try to control other people. Don't try to change them. Don't try to help them ascend. Like, you don't need to do any of that. I really, like, not in a direct way, right? Where you're like going up to somebody and telling them like, man, you're so unconscious, or like blah, 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 right? Because that's actually an unconscious way of responding too. So it's just observing and recognizing where people are at and accepting them where they're at, not trying to change them or convince them otherwise or anything like that. And it was almost a tough lesson for me to learn, because I'm such a fixer and I always want to help people. I always want to assist. And especially if I see somebody hurting, I really want to help them to move towards a brighter perspective. But I've come to understand over time that that's not my job. So it's something that I actually just trust my intuition with now, where in the past I would have been probably like knee-jerk reaction, wanted to kind of help and support and say something to support somebody, where now I don't have that urge anymore. Now I just see where they're at, and I can immediately assess whether they're going to be receptive or not, for me to say something. And my intuition will guide me very strongly as well. I noticed that, like, no, just zip it. Like, don't say anything else. Like, leave them where they're at. It's almost like spirit right away lets me know, like, don't even waste your energy. And speaking of energy, that's my next point actually that I want to talk about. Is I've also recently recognized how incredibly important it is to protect our energy and to savor it, and to really not waste it or squander it on things that don't matter, things that don't progress you forward, things that pull you down and leech or take energy from you, like people, situations, circumstances, habits, whatever it is. I'm really recognizing how important it is for us to really protect our energy. And we protect our energy by just being very discerning about what you're going to give your time to, because time is a form of energy, right? And if you're always giving time to people or to situations that are leaving you feeling quite drained afterwards, that's a very good indication that that's not where you're supposed to be putting your energy. That is not, like, you're pumping it into something that isn't going to go anywhere, and it's not for your highest good. And that's the biggest thing that I learned, is that things that drain me are not for my highest good. Because the things that are for my highest good now, I've really noticed, when I do them, when I do those activities, it uplifts me. It just fills me with energy, as a matter of fact, instead of depleting me. So it leaves me feeling, more energized and just more pumped and more excited for life. Where there was a lot of things I used to put my energy into, and a lot of people actually that I used to put my energy into that were extremely draining and exhausting. And then I used to sit there and scratch my head and kind of feel like a victim. And I'd ask myself, like, why did I just spend so much time with that person and doing this and that? And I'm trying to help them, but they don't even want to help themselves. Like, exactly. This is why we all have to learn to stay in our own lanes. And that's one of the biggest lessons, actually. It's a very, very important one to learn as you move through Ascension, is stay in your own lane. And that actually now brings me to my next point, which is focus. Focused attention and focused intention, and how we focus our energy and our mind, because the mind is a massive generator of energy. So how we focus the mind and what we choose to give our attention to and our time to is also something that we're expanding and we're growing. So being very mindful of that and very aware of what things you give your energy to is also very important right now. The more you pay attention, actually, the more you're going to recognize that certain things are going to start to be uninteresting. So when I'm on social media and I'm scrolling and I'm just like looking through videos or different things, I will notice certain things that I like used to be into and I used to give my focus and my attention to just doesn't capture it anymore. It doesn't align vibrationally is how I feel. This energy to be kind of showing up is that it just, anything that doesn't align energetically with me is, I don't know, it's like it lost its excitement and like that drive, my internal drive to keep doing that thing or to keep watching a certain show or whatever. It just completely diminishes. It just goes away. And that too, like I said, is a really good indication that you are ascending. Your preferences are going to start to change. The kind of people you want to hang around is going to start to change, and like the types of foods you want to eat is going to change. And I'm sure you're already noticing these things. Like more and more people I'm recognizing are getting into gardening and having a desire reawakened within them to want to go outside, to want to spend time, digging in the soil and like doing stuff like that. And that's a wonderful thing. These are all actually signs of ascension. So who you want to hang around, what you want to hang around, what you want to give your time and attention to, what you're giving your focus and your energy to are all shifting, and it's shifting for all of us. The other thing I want to talk about quickly and mention is that not everyone is necessarily, how do I say this? Like, not everyone is necessarily here to shift, okay? And not everyone is necessarily here to ascend. Some people and some souls are playing a different role, which is why it's so incredibly important to stay in your own lane and to focus on your own life, 100% your own life. And it's like, make it your obsession to just create this amazing life for yourself. And it's like, what do I need to do to create this amazing life for myself? And what is an amazing life for me? What does that look like? The more you can focus on that and less on people and situations outside of you that have nothing to do with that and that don't support your personal growth and evolution and improvement of your life, then don't give time and energy to those things, because there's a lot of distraction right now. And that is something I also noticed, is that we have to be extremely mindful with our attention and the focus. And because there's so much distraction and there are so many people that are going to kind of come at you, particularly people that are like, when you're high vibe, you're going to attract a lot of people that are very low vibe. And you're attracting those people not because you've done something wrong, but because you're resonating at a frequency that those people are craving to be at. And because they don't know how to get there, and because they're highly unconscious, all they know is that they just want to be around you, right? They just want to get your attention, get your time, get your energy, whatever it is. They want something from you. And they don't necessarily have anything to give because they're at a lower vibration. Usually those people have nothing to give you or offer you other than a lesson, other than the lesson of like, hey, love yourself more. Make sure that you don't allow people like that to drain you, because people that are not doing the work, and like I said, not everyone is here to ascend, not everyone is going to ascend. And while we're all in this energy together, yes, we're all simultaneously technically ascending. Some people are most certainly at so many levels lower, karmically, because they're bringing those energies from past lives and stuff. That, like, that's who they are, and they are here to be a part of this duality. They are here to show us, right and wrong. Like, some people are here to show us what's right, and some people are here to show us what's wrong. And the two actually harmonize. Like, this is necessary. It's necessary for our ascension. It is necessary for us to grow, for us to be able to see contrast, for us to be able to appreciate good and joy and happiness. So those people are also necessary. This isn't about condemning them. It's not about, shoving them out or ostracizing them because they're lower vibe or because they're, fulfilling a different purpose. It's more actually about compassion, even for those people, and appreciation that, they're playing their role. As weird as that sounds, because I know, some people might say, well, what about like murderers and psychopaths and stuff like that? They're actually also fulfilling a role, believe it or not. They're doing the shadow. They're expressing their shadow selves to the world, right? And we each have a choice, and that's what this ascension test is all about. Actually, it's about a choice for humanity to choose light or to choose dark, and what you want to embody. And that is 100% your decision. That's each of our decisions. It doesn't matter where you are on the journey, in terms of like energetic level. Like, it doesn't matter how high vibe or low vibe you are. We're all here to kind of get the same thing out of this entire ascension process, and that is just choice. Earth life provides choice and options. And as you look around in the world, you'll see that there are millions and billions of options for all kinds of situations and things, right? So we always have choice, and this is our choice point. Like, we are now at a stage in life globally, and actually we're going through such an unprecedented awakening that, from what I've heard, and I'm not 100% sure that this is true, just because of the evolution of time and space and everything, the way that it moves and works, and having some understanding of that. But they're saying that this is the first time ever that a planet, a solar system, and like en masse, is going through an awakening process. So planet Earth is going through a dimensional shift at this time. We are moving out of 3D into higher dimensions of existence, meaning higher frequencies of existence, meaning higher frequencies are more loving experiences. They are more aligned with source, divine creator. So we're moving into this huge shift of literally changing dimensions, and we are doing this en masse with the planet. So every human on the planet, every animal, every species, everything is going through this process with the planet. And right now there are a lot of other beings from other planets all over the solar system and from our universe that are kind of coming here and watching us and checking this out and seeing, are they going to do it? Are they going to get through? Like, is this going to happen? Is this going to work? There's a lot of, I think, beings that are rooting for us, that are really hoping and praying and assisting us in actually awakening, in recognizing our divinity and our internal power, recognizing the power of now and how we actually have this huge ability to manifest and create. So we are in this together 100%. And this is so incredibly huge. And this is such a special time actually to be alive on this planet. It's very important that we recognize that. And again, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. It's okay if you don't recognize it right now. Like, you got to move through this in your own time and in your own way, right? It's not a race. It's not like we're all rushing to some kind of finish line. No, the finish line is somewhere way off, right now. All we need to focus on is to continue cultivating that love within ourselves, to recognize our God-given power to manifest a beautiful life here on earth for all of us, actually, not just for some, but for all of us, and recognizing how we are completely capable of turning things around on this planet and getting her back to health and balance and harmony and equilibrium. And that starts with us. That starts with each individual. It starts with you and me and my neighbor and your neighbor and the next person over, and every single one of us taking the time to cultivate that self-love. And like I said, it doesn't matter where you are on the journey. Start small, start with whatever you can start with, but start to recognize the divinity within you, that you have been created by something so powerful and so beautiful and so magical that makes you magical yourself. And all we have to do is truly tap into this divine source energy. That is this ascension process right now. And the more that we tune into it, the more that we recognize that, like, hey, I'm a part of this and I'm a part of something really big right now. And I have a duty. If I'm here and incarnated in this life right now, I have a duty to show up for myself. And because showing up for myself means that I'm also showing up for my planet, for humanity as a whole, right? Because we can't change other people, but we can change ourselves. And yes, it takes work and it takes effort to change yourself and to overcome bad habits, to overcome your own shadow. But when you do that, and as you do that, because it's a process to do that, the more that you heal the shadow, the more that I heal the shadow and the next person heals the shadow, the more that we collectively start to heal the shadow, and the shadow diminishes as a result. It starts to get weaker and weaker because the energy is no longer supported, because we are the powerhouses that support the shadow, that support energy that generates shadow. We actually generate it ourselves and contribute to it with negative thoughts, hateful thoughts, with traumas, with different things that we experience, and then revenge that we want, and just really low vibe negative feelings or sadness or anger, whatever. We generate that. We contribute to that in a huge way. So recognize that you do, and recognize that you also have a choice, and you can choose different feeling thoughts and better feeling thought processes. Like, my thinking had to shift in a dramatic way, actually, and has shifted in a very dramatic way since I've gone through this awakening process. That tells me that my entire brain is like restructuring itself, and so is yours at this time. So very, very special time that we are in. These ascension signs and symptoms are going to keep happening. It's going to keep intensifying. And it is our job just to ride this wave, to go with the flow, stop focusing on the external drama that's happening in the world. Really try to hone your attention in on making your life as joyful and as wonderful as possible. Things that don't work, make it work, or change things up. So if it doesn't work for you anymore, like, this is what our job is at this time. And the more that we align to our own joy and to our own fulfillment and happiness, the more that we collectively contribute to a beautiful new earth, to a very high vibrational new earth that we are actually birthing as we speak with our energy. So that's my message for today. And I hope that you resonate with this message, because, like I said, we're all going through this, and I just want to help others understand what they're going through and be able to process that and maybe organize it in within themselves a little bit better. So thanks so much for watching, for tuning in, and please hit a like and a subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys, and happy ascension.